Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 766. Now, today, in this episode, we're talking about manifestation. Now, to be really clear with you, I want to be able to get into how our mind works in attracting the things that we want, or how our mind doesn't attract the things that we want, and what to do in order to be able to resolve any resistance and conflicts along the way. It is not about just wishful thinking. Yes, I love the wonderful woo-la-la kind of crazy cool stuff, but I do want to come from a place where we're really being conscious of our ideas, our thoughts, the brain itself, our physiology. For when we do, we're able to really utilize it and therefore not just rely on the external, but to also rely within ourselves. So that is where we're heading today, and I hope you're excited, because on the next episode we're going to be following it up with a hypnosis session around this. Good news about that is that we have the conscious epiphanies or ideas or mindsets, and then we can take those into the hypnotic experience, and I think that is a good way of having a holistic congruency in getting the life we want: health, relationships, careers, money. Be open-minded. Consider exactly what you would like to achieve. Now, before that though, I would like just for you to take a moment to listen to the following ad, because it means you're supporting the show. These are all free episodes, and you, by being here, listening, even just scrolling through it or just muting it, it just really means that you're supporting us on the journey of reaching more and more people in the world. And that is why I want to keep on doing all these free episodes. So with that, let's go ahead into a quick little mini ad break. Speak to you in just a few moments. Are you ready to transform your life in the most amazing way? If so, go ahead and download my free hypnosis app, where you can listen to hundreds of free coaching and hypnosis audios at your convenience on your phone. Create your own hypnosis sessions. That's right, all custom and tailored to your needs. Listen to hundreds of hypnosis sessions. Truly transformational, where you can transform in the day, and also, of course, you can transform as you go to sleep by toggling over the sunshine to the moon, and it will guide you off to sleep effortlessly. And of course, please go ahead and share the love and rate and review the app, because it just means we can help and support more people in the world, and we need it so much right now. You make the difference by leaving a review. Just go to your app store, type in Hypnosis with Joseph Clough, and leave your review. I appreciate you, and thank you for listening to this message. Okay, welcome back. So with that, let's take a deep dive into utilizing the mind, the body, in becoming and manifesting what we desire. So the very first thing what I want to get into is responsibility. You see, if we think about manifestation, I'm not saying what is true about manifesting or not. It is important to be able to get out of the noise or what we've been sold upon and get into the reality. But look, it is our responsibility. It starts with us, it is maintained by us, and it's completed by us. We are the instigator of getting our mind and body in the right place to then be tuned in to those desires. So sometimes we feel like we're just handing things over and therefore we don't do anything. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, there's a level of handing things over, but there's also a level of you maintaining and doing the work that has to be done in order to get the life that you desire. So maybe before we start, consider, is there something that you would like to receive into your life and be totally surprised by it? Because I like surprises. I like the good surprises where I'm just blown out of my mind going, oh my goodness, how could this come into my life in a way where I was a part of it, but I was also surprised by it. Because when I'm coming from that place of open-mindedness and curiosity and joyful expectation, then I'm open to receive the things that I wasn't thinking of. right? So just have that in your mind. I wonder if you could be surprised. Maybe they're closing off this year. Maybe it's a big thing, small thing. Let's put this into action. Let's see what can be done for when you do. You can then build evidence of how you can do more of the same. So first of all, for those who are kind of skeptical about manifestation, I want to come across from the biology aspect. You may have heard me say this before, because look, I say a lot of things over and over again for good reason. We got to get it into our system, into our conscious and unconscious mind. So embrace it again and again until it really, really sinks. You have a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. Ultimately, whatever you focus upon consciously or unconsciously for a persistent amount of time with a certain amount of energy or intention. Now, here's the thing, your unconscious mind doesn't really care if it's positive or negative. Whatever you dwell upon, it begins to look for more of the same. Biologically, it is wired to do just that. That is why you decide to buy a brand new car, the make, the model, you begin to see it everywhere. You begin to learn a new word and suddenly that word is popping out in all the literature, the books, the websites, the blogs. It was always there. But because it was outside of your conscious awareness or reckoning or association, therefore you deleted it out of your reality. But it was always there. You see, the mind is always deleting, distorting, and generalizing. That is why if you are an anxious person, a person who doesn't believe you're worthy, deserving, or enough, you are radiating that scarcity and that fear and that doubt. And therefore your brain is like hardwired to go, well, I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. And it goes over those scenarios of what could happen with the intention to protect. So once again, your brain, the biology of you, is designed to focus and look out for what you think about the most or what you feel the most. It doesn't really care as much when it comes to what is positive or what is negative. Remember, it is about the intention. That is why we can attract the same kind of person into our life over and over again, whether it be narcissists, whether it be loving people, like depending what we're tuning into, our biological brain is seeking things out on what you dwell upon the most. So you may want to be consciously aware of this and really consider, what are you dwelling upon? What feeling are you feeling most of the time? What thought, story, or narrative are you running consciously and, more importantly, unconsciously that causes you to focus on the thing or the thing that you don't want? Whether it be the bad relationships coming up, or whether it be the bad health or the business, bad clients, lack of money, what is the narrative and the story that we've been running by that is causing our unconscious mind to seek it out? You see, we look for things to confirm our reality. I'm going to say that again. It's really, really important. You, unconsciously and consciously, look for things to confirm your reality, your perception to be true, because it is a thing that makes us feel safe, even in the fear and the scarcity, even in the debt, the bad relationships. Our brain is wired up to take all that past data, in other words, the events, the emotions, the bad significant situations, what people have said. We've just absorbed it all, and then that narrative becomes like a confirmation bias of looking for things to reaffirm, oh, that's why I'm not worthy, that's why I'm in debt. Is designed to do that based on the experiences that you've had in your past, which really goes into, well, what are my beliefs about myself? You see, if you had the absolute desire to receive something into your life, let's say it's $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 every single month. Let's take a monetary goal or dream that you may have. And it can be lower, depending what our benchmark is of abundance. But let's just say $10,000 a month. If that is on your heart, if that is something that you are feeling most of the time, that I want $10,000, But in the back of the mind, the unconscious mind goes, you're not worthy. You're not enough. You're not deserving. You're not capable. You're not of value. Then of course, no matter how much you feel it and radiate it, in the back of the mind, you're being put off course by that resisting identity about yourself. You see, your self-value will equate to what you receive in your life. It's hard and it's sad sometimes if that is the case, but how are we ever meant to receive abundance if we are putting ourselves down in this inner critic of feeling like an imposter or not feeling worthy or deserving or enough? We're sending mixed messages, in other words. We're saying, well, I really want this, but I'm not worthy of it. I really want that, but I'm not deserving. I really, really, really want this, but I'm not good enough. How are we ever meant to receive it? Because we're sending out these two contradictory signals. I really want it, but I don't believe it. That is a big thing that we have to investigate. What is the identity about yourself that is a mismatch to your desire? It's very, very important. Simple, but so important. What is that identity that is getting in the way? I want you to think about it like this. If you are 100% in alignment to your desire, in other words, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your behaviors, your identity as a way of being in this world, which knows that you're worthy, deserving, and enough. Notice how that psychology and the biology of you will be showing up every day if you came from that place. When you go, do you know what? That thing that I desire, I am worthy of it. I am deserving of it. I am capable. It is a whole different level of mindset and physiology that is not resistance. So just think about it very plainly. What am I resisting as a psychological perception of myself and the world? Because it could be about money itself. Like, I really want money, but money is the root of all evil. Mixed messages. So ask yourself, what kind of ideas and narratives and stories have you been holding on to? And by holding on to, I mean unconsciously, that is getting in the way, and let's just summarize that as resistance. Because if you're 100% aligned, you would do the things which had to be done to make the change and receive the desire. Now, if we were to go into the metaphysical or the esoteric aspect to it, I've always had this thought, not always of course, but when I've got into this game of transformation and personal development, I have had to become very conscious of my thoughts. Because I remember starting out, when I didn't want to see a client, like because I wasn't feeling good, weirdly they didn't show up or they cancelled. If I was really interested in a subject, suddenly I'd get a client back to back, all with, say, confidence issues. It would be beyond normal, in my opinion, to get the same kind of people or get the cancellations based on what my energy was, what my frequency was, what I was putting out there into the world. It is one of those things. I did it with my podcast. So in the beginning, I thought that getting X amount of views was a goal. Maybe it's a few hundred a month. And I was like, yeah, and I did it. And then it kept on growing. But then I put out an intention that I wanted like 150,000 downloads. And I really thought about it. And I thought, look, I'm worthy of this because I want to be able to make a change in the world. I'm really so into wanting to help people break free of pain. That is my biggest thing, because I hate to think of people living in pain. Emotional, psychological, physical pain. I do not want that for people. So my mission and ambition was to really get it out there. And suddenly, without me doing anything extra, that set of stats came in, 150,000 downloads. And it was because I was so deeply aligned to it that it just popped up. Another time I decided, there's my first NLP hypnosis training that I ran, and I wanted to be able to treat myself to it. I wanted a BMW. It had to be silver. I didn't mind if it was a 3 or a 5 series. And I just knew that's what I wanted. I was like 21, 22 years old, and I was like, I really wanted a BMW. Like, I had this really not so cool car, which was given to me by helping someone, because there's an upgrade from my 1 liter Vauxhall Nova, if you ever remember that, for those in England, in turquoise green, might I add. So I was super cool as a, what do we do in England? Like 16 years old in England, or was that America? I forget. No, it's 18 in America. England, 17. Where do I live? England or America? I don't know sometimes, my mind. But ultimately, I really wanted this car, and I really put the energy out there. And just like that, someone who worked at BMW, the head engineer, was selling his it was actually technically a 5 series, but it was one of those weird kind of numbers there. It was like a 523 or something. And he was selling his car, and it just so happened that someone said that to me, and I had the car within a week of making that declaration of that's what I really desired. I was so aligned with it, because I was like, I did all this good work, I really wanted to help these people, taught them, certified them, and I just felt like I was deeply aligned with that desire, and it just popped out into my reality. So I really believe on that esoterical level, or that just kind of that wonderful, I don't know, there's so many different ways of expressing it, but I like to see it as like we're all energy vibrating at a certain frequency, right? That's what science tells us. We are energy vibrating at a certain frequency. That creates the density, that creates who we are, just like everything is a frequency, and everything therefore is like we're in a sea of energy. So if that is true, we are connected, and there's so many great books about this, where it be like Rupert Sheldrake even, where it goes into books like The Intention Experiment, The Holographic Universe. There's so many crazy cool books with studies, scientific studies, that shows that we are connected at a deeper level than who we just are. We're not just a part of this world, the world is also within us. Like, we are the smaller part of something bigger, even if you don't believe that to be true. So we could go down that biological route, we can go down that psychological route, we can go into the realms of interconnection, where it be things which I don't know anything about, like the quantum physics side of things. We live in a very crazy cool world, a crazy reality. We are, another book which just popped into my mind right now, and I can't remember, but it was like a book called Entanglement or something like that. But we are entangled with so much around us. We're connected with so many different weird and wonderful experiences. And if we tap into just the energetic frequency of our desires more often than not, biologically, we are more likely to see the opportunity because we are free of the resistance of it. Emotionally or spiritually, we are so aligned to it that we are attracting it. I like to see it as like an analogy of like being a radio. Now, you can tune in to certain things. You can tune in to like the rock music channel, the pop one, the rap one, the classical one, depending on what you feel good about. But let's just say you really did not like heavy metal, but you were just tuning into it every single day, listening to it. That is what you would get. You wouldn't expect other kinds of music, other kinds of genres of music. Why? Because you're tuned into heavy metal. Let's just say you want to be able to tune in to beautiful classical music or whatever your desire is, then you've got to change the dial. You've got to move it over to be in alignment with that station. Well, we've got to do the exact same thing with our mind. We can't be expecting beautiful, wonderful abundance and success, where it be that $10,000 or where it be that relationship, while tuning in to scarcity, while tuning in to I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving. So we can really see that if we upgrade our thinking and we start to get ourselves in an energetic space, a psychology, a belief system of congruency and alignment, free of resistance, we are able to be deeply aligned with that desire. Therefore, we take inspired action upon the thing that we really, really want. We are so much in that level of transformation. Now, let's go a little bit deeper. Well, how can we start that process? We talked about it recently, just last week, I believe, which is gratitude. Gratitude is a great gateway to receiving more. Why? Because you're moving your mindset, your energetic imprint, your energetic radiating out into the world from lack or scarcity to what you have. If you're grateful for the things that you have, then you feel better. You don't feel a sense of lack or loss. So yes, being gratitude is a great tip to start off with, and then going into the gratitude for who we are. And then the final stage, which I like to think of, is gratitude for all the unexpected greatness coming your way. Because when you think about it, if you're so grateful every single day for being surprised by something amazing happening, doesn't that feel energetically good? That you're not being surprised by what you don't want, but you're going, look, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. It's going to be happening in known ways, unknown ways, seen ways, unseen ways. But whatever it is, I am so grateful for the good and great things coming my way. That energetic mindset makes you feel good. Now, the other level of, say, moving on from gratitude is to consider what you want. But not just what you want, but why you want it. In other words, what it will give you. We spoke about this recently when it came to gratitude, I think. But let's just take the numerical number of, say, $10,000 every single month. Well, you don't want 10,000. It is just a number. You want what it will give you. The security, the freedom, the giving to community, all of those things. That's what we're after. That's what we really want. The money is just a byproduct of getting us there. So your goal is not to focus necessarily on what you want, but what it will give you. And even more than that, if you want to go deeper into it, notice the feeling that will give you. If that $10,000 or pounds or euros, whatever currency we're in, would give you the biggest feeling of love or freedom or security, your goal is to operate from that place most of the time, whether you have it or you do not have it. When you think about it, if we are a sea of energy, or if our unconscious mind attracts on what we dwell upon the most, if I'm dwelling upon the most real wonderful feelings of feeling freedom every single day, if I'm just feeling freedom, I'm doing the things which make me feel freedom, well, of course, I'm aligned to money because that's what it'll give me. It'll also give me all other good, great things. So be sure to consider what you want right here, right now. But notice the feeling it will give you, and your job is to operate from that place. Whatever you desire desires you too, but we're going to be noticing what we are desiring. Are we desiring the fear and the scarcity, the worries and the doubt? Or are we going to tune into what we desire and what it will give us and what it will allow us to feel? Because if we're in that energetic state of feeling it, we are free of resistance, and we're looking for everything like this or something better. Anything which is aligned to freedom in that scenario. Now, if it was, say, love, that was a feeling that you dwell upon the most, you immerse yourself in, well, you're going to get all the thing of that thing that you want, which gave you love or would give you love, but everything else around that, beyond your goal, beyond your dream. So you want this or something better. Open our mind to be not so locked down to it has to be this. Because if you're saying, this is the only way it will come into my life, or this is the only thing that I want, you are deleting all other opportunities which could be even better before your wildest imagination. So you've got to be open, you've got to be curious, you've got to be ready to expect the unexpected of being surprised with your desires. That's what we're after. Now, the other thing is, we've got to imagine the big goal at hand. Let's just say it is $10,000 per month, right? Let's just say that is. if you think of a number of how much you would like every month, and it fills you up with fear, then that's going to give us a doubt. It's going to give us scarcity. So yes, it's good to have that number in your mind, but if you have that negative association that it's too big, it's too hard, it's too much of a struggle, it's way beyond what you can do, and this could be about anything, by the way, whether it be career, business, relationship, or health. If you're like, I really want a goal of running a marathon, that's my goal, but the nature of thinking about that marathon makes you feel daunted, it makes you feel defeat before even putting on your trainers. Well, of course, you're going to self-sabotage that. So what you want to do is have that goal and dream in your mind, whether it be the abundance number or whether it be running a marathon, but then start to break it down in manageable steps. Almost like you're going in a more comfortable way. You have what you really want, you know where you are. Well, what's going to bridge the gap, which is kind of easier, right? Because if I think of my end outcome, what fills me with dread, well, what I've got to do is come up with some, say, milestones or some steps that if I acquire and do, let's take the analogy of the marathon. Well, I'm just going to focus on running 2 miles. Feels a lot better than doing the marathon. And then you're going to have the goal of 6 miles and so on. You're going to increase. The end goal is still there, but you're doing it in a manageable way. Same thing with money. If it was 10K, well, maybe you've got to work on the 2K first. And the reason for that is having that big leap will defeat you or self-sabotage you. It's too big. It's like looking up a huge mountain and going, oh my goodness, that is so daunting. I can't do that. Well, if your goal is now to break it down and then you succeed in that milestone, what does that do? It gives you certainty. It gives you hope. It gives you evidence that something is possible. You're gaining momentum. And therefore, once you get past that first milestone, you're like, bring on the next one. You see, we can break things down. It is good if it's on your heart to dream big. I know my goals in this lifetime of mine are very big. But I also know that if it overwhelms me or it becomes daunting for me, I need to break things down in a way which feels doable, successful, to get the quick wins in, which builds momentum and success into getting what I want. So one of the key aspects, though, just to rein ourselves back, is more often than not going to be our identity. It really is. Your belief about yourself is going to be the main thing that is going to get in the way. If you believe that you're not worthy, deserving, or enough for that goal, then you're saying, I can't have that goal. I'm not allowed to it. I'm not worthy of it. I'm not of value of it. And therefore, no matter all the actions that you put in, all the feelings, the affirmations that you say out loud, or you read every single time, it just makes us feel worse, because we're saying, look, I'm ready for this goal, it's coming my way, but you're going, but I'm not worthy of it, I'm not deserving of it. You're creating a deeper divide within your neurology. You're fooling yourself. Eventually you'll feel like an imposter, and you feel like, oh my goodness, there's no way this is going to happen, because you're sending 2 signals. This is what I want, this is my affirmation, but I don't believe I'm worthy of it. So consider, what is that story, that narrative that you're going through? Now, before we get into the hypnosis session on the next episode, I want you just to take a few moments to do this. If you can, ideally to close your eyes, and if not, you can pause this and then do it when you're not operating machinery and things like that. But just take a moment to consider what you want. You can do this with your eyes open if it's helpful or it's something that you feel good about, but just consider what you want. Consider where you are in relation to that goal, just so we know the distance. Now also notice what that goal will give you. So if you wanted, you could imagine going from where you are to where you want to be, looking through the eyes of having achieved that goal. Number 1, to make sure you really want it, because sometimes you might desire something, but when you get there, you're like, oh, I didn't really want that in the end. So make sure, look through the eyes of having achieved your goal to make sure you really are in alignment to it. what will that feeling give you? If you were to achieve that, what would be the biggest feeling, the overriding feeling that will just enlighten your neurology, that will set you up and go, oh, if I could feel this feeling, I would love it. Whatever that feeling is, then notice if you had that feeling beyond the goal, what else would you achieve? What else would you receive? Because there's much more to discover. And then as you consider that, make sure and tell yourself, I am responsible for this goal. I'm not going to rely upon other things or people or the economy or whatever's going on in the world. I'm not going to rely upon it. I'm not going to rely upon it, and therefore I'm in control. I'm assuming responsibility of it. And as you consider that, notice that you can feel that feeling in other things that you can do today. Whatever that feeling is, consider in your mind, where else can you find that feeling immediately? Because there will be feelings, or that whatever that feeling is, where you can find it in other areas of your life. There's going to be certain actions or hobbies or music, films, which activates that feeling. Because that feeling is not only in that outcome, it's everywhere around you if you look for it. So notice in your mind, what else could you do in your day-to-day life before that wonderful, beautiful goal heads toward you, while you head towards it, that you can do right here, right now, that you can do throughout the day, or most of the time, or throughout aspects of the week, where you can tune into that feeling and radiate it. Therefore you become the lighthouse. Therefore you become the light that is attracting a like. You are becoming what you desire, the byproduct of a thing that you desire, to be that person. We've got to see our mind as a signal and a receiver. You have to put out the signal there to receive what you desire. You need to tune in and dial in. Yes, from gratitude. Yes, from that worthiness. Yes, from that deservingness of that I am of value, that this is absolutely my birthright to receive this because I am an abundant person. I'm a joyful person. I'm a loving person. We've got to have that level there and then start to receive it by acting upon it. I'm going to say this over and over again. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and act upon it with conviction. That is what we're after. That is who we're becoming. Tune in to something bigger than yourself. Even if you're not into the out there crazy cool stuff like I am, I wonder how you can utilize it. I wonder how you can tune into something greater than yourself, from the love to the passion, the mission, the ambition. You see, once you make it bigger than yourself, it is an absolute necessity to do. You see, if I think about podcast numbers and downloads and things like that, it's a number once again, just like money. But if I think about the ripple effects for one person, and there's what people have said, they've somehow discovered the podcast or the app, and it saved them. It really made a big saving experience for them. And then it caused them to go on a journey, and it transformed their family or their children or their purpose. The ripple effects go far and wide. When you change one person, you change everyone in their environment. See, when I think of that, that lights me up. When I think about the ripple effects of what I do, not because it's me doing it, because I always say, look, you do the work. You've got to do the instigation of the transformation. You've got to take responsibility and do it. I can't do it for you. But to know that I'm a part of something, when I think of those numbers, what that can do on a scale that I cannot even imagine, that fills me up wanting to help more people. That's why I don't mind investing my time and my money in keeping things for free. that I have zero resistance around that, because I want that impact in the world. I want that mission and vision and ambition and all those types of things. Now, the reason why I say that is, if you can discover whatever that goal and dream is, that desire that you truly want, but then notice something bigger than yourself, you are now multiplying that energy. You're amplifying it, because you go, this is not just about me anymore. This is about my children. This is about my partner, my family, my business, my customers, my legacy. The ripple effects can go far and wide. If you can tune into that level of energy, you are deeply aligned with your desires. You are so like, I've got to do this. It is no way that I'm not going to do it. No negotiation. It is a non-absolute idea that it is not going to happen. I'm certain it's going to happen. I'm ready to make it happen. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, even beyond my belief system. Yeah, you do the work to let go of the limiting belief, because you can't just have a mission greater than yourself or the goal bigger than yourself. That's not going to work. You do need to do the mindset work. Get the help to let go of the limiting belief, which will bridge the gap. But once you discover something bigger than yourself in that, then you are truly amplifying that feeling. You are tuned in, tapped in, and deeply aligned with that desire that it is unstoppable, that the result and the outcome is impossible to be ignored, because you're ready to make this change. That, to me, is a way that you really get aligned. Remember, we are energy. Remember, it is your birthright to know that you're worthy, deserving enough for yourself, let alone the things that you desire. And those things could be material, they could be spiritual, they could be people, opportunities. It doesn't really matter. Once you are tuned into that level of desire, once you are tuning into what that thing will give you, and you do that most of the time, and you have the gratitude for who you are, what you have, and what is coming your way, when you are just doing that and having that feeling of that desire most of the time, dwelling upon it in the most beautiful way, radiating it far and wide in the things that you can do right now, while simultaneously knowing that you're worthy, while simultaneously breaking that big goal down to those little milestones, so that therefore you won't self-sabotage, you'll be just getting that momentum. You are going to get to where you want to be if you choose to, if you assume the responsibility. Now, one quick disclaimer. There is a level of being realistic. For example, let's just say I am an 80-year-old and I want to compete in the 100 meters hurdles at the Olympic final. Now, I'm not saying that's unrealistic if I'm like an 80-year-old, but I'm kind of saying it's a little bit unrealistic compared to the 20-year-olds, the 25, the 30-year-olds running 100-meter hurdles in the Olympics. So there is an idea of what is realistic, right? But what I also want to add to that, ultimately, only you can define what is realistic or not. Now think about that. What are you defining as realistic? Is it actually, I'm not worthy, so what I define as realistic is just $1,000 per month? Is it the definition of what is realistic is only someone who kind of likes me? Am I defining myself as realistic of hopefully liking myself? You get to define that. That is the narrative. So remember, yes, be realistic, but remember on top of that, that you are the true definer of what is realistic. Because guess what? There are many people who have been told that certain things weren't realistic. Where it be like, I think it was Roger Bannister who completed whatever time, the 5-minute mile, whatever it was. No one thought that was possible until he did it. And then suddenly everyone's like, oh my goodness, it's possible. And his record got broke very quickly, multiple times, because now we had evidence that it was possible. Once we thought going on a train over like 35 minutes, or 35 miles or so, per hour that is, would make us explode or something. We have some weird beliefs about what is possible and what is not possible. And over again, we redefine what is realistic. In science, in biology, We do it all the time. Science throughout history is all about redefining. There's been more science proven to be untrue because we're always ready to learn a new paradigm, a new way of doing things. So remember, if all these things were once defined to be true or the only way, and then suddenly they're not, we have a new paradigm of reality. And I wonder what new paradigm of what you can receive and achieve based on a new definition of what is realistic will truly make the change that you desire. Now with that, remember the next episode is a hypnosis session using the things that we discovered and decided and discussed today. But of course, if you ever need my personal help in getting you from where you are to where you want to be, to let go of the limiting beliefs of not being worthy, deserving enough, and you are committed and invested, yes, there is a level of investment because look, this is customized to you. It gets your unconscious mind to change. You get plugged into a community, you get plugged into one-to-one group, custom tracks, all of it. It is designed for you, and you can go ahead and book your call to speak with us if you want to transform in the most wonderful way. If you're listening to this on the podcast, we're already in 2023, so we may as well start strong. If you're listening to this live, let's close out this month, this year in the most powerful way. You can go to josephclough.info/talk. When you go there, you'll get to choose a time to speak one-to-one with us. And then you fill out a quick application, and on that call, when you show up on the Zoom, we get clear on exactly where you are, what's getting in the way. In other words, like what you're experiencing, what you want, what's preventing you get there, and then we come up with a plan of action to make it a reality. We want to fight for you. We want to be able to show you the way, and that is at josephclough.info/talk. Remember, you've got to be invested. You've got to take that responsibility. You've got to do the work, feel the fear, and do it anyway, because even if you don't believe you're worthy enough, you know deep down there's a part of you waiting to break free. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future one. With that, many thanks and goodbye. Okay, that was the podcast recording. We'll keep a little bit of a chat in this for the replay because I want everyone to know how cool our community is. Mr. Cuddle's going crazy at the end. Let's go ahead back to the chill out music. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to just scroll back. I found that I was reading this, Sarah, when you said it. It's like the algorithms, like Facebook, YouTube. If you keep on looking, typing like YouTube, wonderful puppies, they're going to show you more puppies, right? That's one of the big issues with social media. We engage in something that's not right, and then suddenly the algorithm's like, oh, you've engaged in this, so I'm going to give you more content to be more engaged with, but from arguments. Doesn't really good when it comes to that, but psychology, it makes the same thing. If you engage in the algorithm of fear and scarcity, guess what? It's going to show back all of that stuff via the reality theater of the mind that is the algorithm of the universe. And that'd be a cool program, tapping into the algorithm of the universe. Thank you so much, Hans, for becoming a sponsor. Whoop, whoop. Awesome, my friend. Appreciate that. And also, my good friend as well, James. He's been on our practitioner and master practitioner. An amazing guy. You know this guy right here? Probably every year for many years has sent me something for my birthday or Christmas. How nice is that? And it's always something so meaningful. I was trying to look for something what I've got from you, James. Usually it's like something real nice, like an Om symbol or on like a diary or something like that. So that's awesome, my friend. Judith says, that ripple effect is absolutely true. You are the reason I can ride on an elevator. Oh, awesome. That's so awesome. I don't think I knew that, did I? Yeah, that ripple effect. Thank you so much. That makes me go, I want to do more. I want to do more. But then I've got to be monitoring my energies and not get into burnout again. But I'm learning that. Thank you, Leah. So pleased that you enjoyed it. You are more than welcome. Super cool. Steph says, one of my favorite quotes is, sometimes it is the people no one can imagine anything of who do the things no one can imagine. Alan Turing. The possibilities are endless. Alan Turing, I might be wrong. Was he the one who did the deciphering of the code? Am I wrong there? Or was it someone else? I know the name. Like in the World War. Or is that someone else? But I like that. That's awesome. Our community is the best for sure. Absolutely. Jude says, I came in looking for... Did I just say your name fully? I get excited sometimes. Judith says, I came in looking for help with anxiety, and now I feel like a new person after 6 or 7 years of making this part of my lifestyle. Love it. And so pleased, Maureen, that you loved this episode. You're more than welcome, Michelle. That is awesome, isn't it? Thank you, Case. God, I was calling you all different kind of names there. Thank you so much, my friend. After I do the streams, my mind starts to just stop. Like, I've been tuned in for the topic, so I start to kind of fade out in a nice way. No, not a bad way, but you know, I've been speaking for an hour. How long have I been speaking for, everybody? An hour and 10 minutes. So pleased you enjoyed the episode. Maybe the TikTok and FB algorithms would be hacked to help us manifest our desires. Ooh, maybe. Maybe. Yes! That's who I was thinking. I'm so pleased I remember that. Sad story at the same time, though. Like, whew. But so thankful for him, but so bad how people treated him. Thank you. So kind. Thank you, MZ. Really? Remember hypnosis on Wednesday? Thank you as always, Joseph, for another awesome episode. There's the impossible to I'm possible. Absolutely. Yes. Roger Bannister. Like, we don't know what is possible until we get evidence, but we can dream big. Like, I don't know what the possibilities is other than my evaluations of what is possible. What did I say on the stream? I actually really enjoyed, hopefully it does not sound like from ego, but it popped into my mind. And by the way, I don't take credit for all the things I say. I think I'm just tuning in. Not in weird ways, but like trusting my unconscious. But I said something which I thought, oh, that's a really cool idea. But I cannot remember it. What was it? It was near the end. Oh dear. I cannot remember. But it was so good I couldn't remember it. What was it? No idea. Well, I'm so pleased you enjoyed it. I was getting kind of dark. I had natural light. That's way too bright light on the sun. So yes, my friends, I think I'm ready to close out the stream. That was really good though. It was really good hanging out with you all. And like I said, I will be here on Wednesday for the hypnosis session. And then for Friday, we'll be doing a live stream as well. I already created it yesterday, but I cannot remember what the title is. but it will be good, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. And I'll see you all before Thanksgiving for those who celebrate it on Wednesday. And I'm just trying to think. I was just thinking then, when is my last stream of the before I leave? You're more than welcome, Steph. Thank you for being here. My last stream, oh my goodness, it's gonna be a week today is my last stream. We've done today, Wednesday, Friday, and then it'll be Monday the 28th, because I'll be leaving on the Wednesday. So I have a lot of stuff I'll need to do and probably have to leave to get to where I need to be. So we've got, after this stream, 3 more streams left. Yes, the 28th will be my last stream. Thank you for that. Most welcome. You have a good rest of your day. And thank you, Maureen. That's very, very kind. Yeah, I'm going to let my brain relax for a little bit. Remember things. And be sure to hit the like button if you haven't on YouTube. I think we're all pretty much on YouTube at the moment. I know Rosetta was on Facebook. But I think everyone else, Modesto wasn't. I think that's pretty much it. Well, there's a few others. Genevieve. Oh gosh. Oh, Laurie, I forgot to put this up on the post of the stream. Welcome, my friend. I did see you come in live, but then I forgot. Yes, indeed. Oh, and the music stopped, which is perfect timing. So we'll have another little song as we end this. Or even Cuddles saying, look, it's time to stop, Dad. It's time to stop. I'm ready. I know, I'm ready. Yeah. I'm finishing. Okay, I've been told to go by Mr. Cuddles, so I'll speak to you all soon. Many thanks, and goodbye.